but what would be the advice or your instinct on how businesses, particularly small businesses and startups, should be conducting themselves in the times ahead?
Well, I think, I think small businesses are likely to suffer more than big businesses from Brexit, and that's because big businesses have got overseas earnings in dollars, and as the pound goes down, they can cushion themselves, and so I think I think small businesses do need to make sure that the government realise the importance of us being able to trade within Europe, and it's important that we get that message across to those people who are doing the negotiation. So I think that's the most important thing, is that market is not precluded for all small businesses, and it doesn't become cumbersome and bureaucratic and expensive, and as it did before the European Union was formed. That I think is the biggest thing. I mean, if we can get rid of that thing hanging around our necks, I think small businesses can continue to flourish as they've been doing for a long time.
Our strategy at the moment has changed over the last year, and we're mainly looking overseas markets, even further afield than Europe, because of the changes in the economic climate and also barriers to entry. But we're really putting emphasis on, for example, we're going to Asia a lot with our products. And what's your view now? Has your view changed since you've gone into VOOM and moved on to new places? Because we're going into a market, especially being quite saturated where we are. And just to let you know, what our strategy for Europe is, actually, because we've got 2 years, let's try and cement as many relationships as we can, and hopefully we get loyalty to then take us through whatever happens, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Toby, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, we're in a similar boat in that we're desperately getting into Europe before any of the Brexit things happen. But I think if you bypass, well, our strategy is to almost look beyond the politics and look for the opportunities that are still there, and there are many of them. If we're using partners that we've got in the UK that are also based out in Europe to get into Europe as quick as we can. But I think there are many opportunities still out there, despite the whole Brexit situation. And it's looking, I think the entrepreneur's mindset should be switched on looking for those opportunities rather than the problems or the challenges that we've got. That's just from our perspective.
I'd like to ask Richard, I'm from startups.co.uk, what would be his #1 piece of advice for, say, a startup pitching to him?
Advice for pitching, did you say?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Good question.
#1 advice for pitching: keep it short. I'm famously dyslexic, and therefore at Virgin, if we take an advert, if Richard can understand it, we know it's going to work. Simple, clear-cut messages. I think the old rule of the elevator pitch. Can you get it across in an elevator? I was doing a bike ride in Cape Town, the Cape Argus, 120 kilometre bike ride over the mountains, and people would ride up beside me and pitch me, and yes, whatever it takes, straight up these steep hills after 3 or 4 hours of riding. But anyway, short and simple, I'm sure, is the best.
Excellent.
And I'm from Beauty Boulevard. The internet is amazing. It opens up your company and your brand globally, as you've said. But how, as a small company, can you protect your brand when it goes into foreign countries, and obviously unscrupulous people can see your brand, see your product, and perhaps try and mimic? Obviously not in the best way, but try and take what you've worked so hard for. What's your priorities to try and just contain your brand and protect yourself?
Well, yeah, we have spent the last year really getting our patents in order, contracts in order, and we call it building a moat around our business so that no one else can copy what it is. I think the greatest protection we've got is keeping the actual mix a total secret, so that doesn't go into the patents. But in truth, I think what will happen is, no matter how much or how big that moat is, someone will copy what it is that we're doing. And for us, it's about being first to market, getting our products into these various different countries that we've identified as quick as we possibly can before that happens. I think, from our perspective, it's almost a good thing if people copy us, and it's changing our mindset from being overprotective into saying, well, if they copy us, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, if they copy you and they do it badly, then it's fantastic. But if they copy you and they've got a bigger wallet than you have, then it's a little bit of a battle.
Have you had a bad experience?
I couldn't possibly comment.